This season on Ice Vikings.
I'm a commercial fisherman, and I've been fishing on Lake Winnipeg for 40 years.
Winter fishing and summer fishing are so different. It's like you're in a big, dry desert of cold.
Our family's been on Lake Winnipeg since the late 1800s, so I kind of come by it naturally.
This one will damage your net.
This is like a turducken. They got a mariah with a tulip inside.
I don't know where on the weather it says a full blizzard, but this is a blizzard.
It's almost like the gold rush. Quick, fast buck. You hit fish, you make a lot of money.
It's a hard job. It's not for everybody.
It's windy. It started out at 30K. Now it has to be blowing 50, 60.
The risk of hypothermia is very real.
Oh, shit, right in the goddamn rough ice.
Yellow bombardier's broke. Maybe I could tie up this bogey and get it to shore.
If one of us go down,
What the hell? Hang on.
that would hurt us.
It's cold. You yield nothing. It's kind of a bust.
Ice is a living thing.
This is way too wide. Be at the top for 2 hours to get through here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You gotta be a little crazy to do this. Why do you want to come out with 40 below and push it? Woo!
That is very good fishing.
It is worth it if you're catching fish.
That's the smell of money, baby.
Just another day in paradise, living the dream.
Gimli, Manitoba, Canada. A northern outpost containing the largest Icelandic settlement outside of Iceland itself. For 5 generations, these Viking families have worked the vast 25,000 square kilometer Lake Winnipeg and built a successful commercial fishing industry.
It's a lot of families' livelihoods who have been doing this for 3, 4, 5 generations. It really is a way of life, and it's everything to us.
With unpredictable weather conditions, these Vikings of the lake embrace the added danger of winter fishing.
You gotta be a little crazy to do this. Why do you want to come out with 40 below and push it?
The locals call it the long season.
You gotta know your environment. It can change at any second.
With temperatures plunging below -40, the lake can get colder than the surface of Mars.
It can be very, very cold. It's bone chilling.
Around here, fishing is big business.
There is an end game and an end vision to what we're doing, and that's to get money so we can do what we need to do.
Commercial fishing in the area is worth upwards of $25 million annually. There's a lot on the line.
It's so much more than just throwing a net in the water and catching fish.
These modern-day Vikings mix ancient techniques and Cold War technology, trying to get the best catch possible in the most dangerous of conditions.
Just want to get out and see where Trevor is, make sure he's where I'd like to see him be.
It's near the end of the season, and veteran fisherman Chris Christensen keeps tabs on his crews.
Make sure we're both on the same page.
Safety is the top priority this time of year, but so is catching fish. Today, he's checking in on his son Trevor.
Until I get to where I gotta go and look at exactly where I am, I can't really tell him what I know is underneath him. You do not want to set any further east than when those 2 islands match. If you're going to set here, you should jump across the other side of this island and get into the deep water again.
That's where I asked you to go.
But, well, all those other guys are there. Your best spot right here is from that peg, right where I came with the Bombardier Trail. Not this way, not like this, because this
is exactly what you told me to do on the map, is like this.
Yeah, but I told you not to go when the 2 islands match. I told you when those close, you're too far east.
Well, he told me where to set, and I'm setting exactly where he told me to. But now that I'm here, it's not the right spot, so.
Okay, just letting you know.
At this point, I don't really care. It's late in the season. It's too much of a pain in the ass, so. And I don't want to deal with this today. I'm too tired. I've had enough.
I can close my eyes. I can see it in my head.
I just don't want to hear it anymore. It's too much. I'm just waiting for him to leave so I can get back to work.
Winter arrives early, catching even the most experienced fishing families off guard. The Christensen family is one of the most established fishing businesses around.
Our family's been on Lake Winnipeg since the late 1800s, so I kind of come by it naturally.
Chris Christensen and his eldest son Trevor prepare to fish the long season alongside Chris's youngest son Devin and his father Robert. While Trevor works for his dad, he's also striking out on his own, taking up the challenge of starting a commercial fishing business.
I don't have the same operation my dad has, but we do work under the same roof at the end of the day. So I can go out and do my own thing, I can catch my own quotas, I can do whatever I want with my own fish, but it's kind of his house at the end of the day, so his rules still apply. Well, this is our backyard here, and it's a pond which actually connects to the lake.
Before they dare venture out on the ice, Trevor checks its thickness by using a Viking-like spear.
If there's about 3 inches of ice, then I feel like we can set pretty soon. So I'll bring in the chunk of ice and show my dad. Here, check this out. What do you think of that?
I can see there's a little bit of slush on top here. There's been some snow on it overnight. Well, this is enough ice for a snowmobile.
Yeah, if we were sitting on a pond, you could sit here.
Don't you think that's enough for a sled?
Yeah, I was thinking so.
Okay, good. Now I have confirmation. If anything goes wrong, Trevor said it was safe to go on the ice.
It's dangerous to walk on ice less than 8 centimeters thick, but even then, there's no guarantees. From their experience, the ice chunk shows they are only days away from starting their winter fishing. Being the first to set their nets means claiming the best fishing spots.
First, we'll get it untangled.
They hedge their bets and start prepping nets and snow machines.
I could probably go set this thing right now.
The eldest Christensen, Robert, arrives to check the progress of the family operation. Robert's grandfather, Siggy, is the original settler from Iceland, who began fishing the frozen lake over 100 years ago.
To move nets in the wintertime is very hard. So you try to stake your grounds where you're going to be, and then everybody moves off to the side. That's what you're doing. And every family here is doing the same thing.
It's always kind of a bit of a scramble. I mean, everything is... There you go. It's the same thing every year, but for some reason, it's always kind of chaos at this time of year, you know?
Normally, I don't like to put this stuff on till we're ready to go. Don't really want to give anybody a heads up of what we're doing. But we want to get old bottom finder there ready. So that's kind of our disposable machine. We've had it to the bottom of the lake more than once. As you can see, it doesn't owe anybody any money. So if it goes through, then it goes through.
The next morning, with colder weather in the forecast, Trevor and the rest of the family's crew travel to stake their claim where their Viking ancestors fished before them. And that means heading north of Gimli to the narrows of the big lake.
Well, now we've got trouble. Snow. You can't see nothing.
Holy, look at this. Let's go have a look, eh? Haven't been down here for a whole year.
The north wind is bringing the water up. We can't get on the ice, and there's snow, and we can't see far enough out.
In the wintertime, you don't have the waves that you have to worry about as much, but the ice is very unpredictable. Ice can contract, expand, and move ways you would never know.
Maybe just go a little further down and I can have a clear look, just to make sure.
I haven't been this far down.
I know, but how many times are you and I ever going to get to walk down this trail again?
Never. Well, there's no open water up south, which is a good thing. But this snow that we're getting now, it's coming from north. There's open water north of us. Over there, we have a better chance to get on the ice. Put an angler bar into it. Is there ice or is there no ice?
Sounds like a plan.
Chris takes his dad's advice, and his crew heads further north, hoping the ice will be thick enough there.
I can still sit with my dad, and he can talk to me for 15 minutes, and he can yell for 15 minutes if he wants, and I'll listen.
If it's open, you can't set.
We're going to go down further, like Dad said, to the other spot to see if we can get onto the ice there.
Ready to find out what broke?
Meanwhile, in Gimli, another team of ice Vikings are gearing up for the winter season. Mike Linton and Justin Gerbrandt have been in business for only 8 years. In these parts, where families have fished for generations, that makes them still the new guys in town.
I don't even know how I met Justin. Maybe at a bar, started snowmobiling together.
He had fished with a friend of ours and his dad for about 3-4 years.
And then I convinced him to fish. He had never fished, ever. Now we're a two-man show, and it's going good.
We're the only ones that I know of that have started just from scratch and don't have any ties to commercial fishing whatsoever. It's kind of unique.
It's neither cheap nor easy to make it go at commercial fishing.
I'd say the whole operation spent for Justin and myself, it has to be $200,000. It's crazy. It's crazy that I thought this was a good idea, but it's panning out, so.
Not catching fish can mean closing the doors to their business for good, so being first on the ice is all about starting their cash flow. It also means claiming the prime fishing spots before someone else gets there first.
We're just going to head out to Husavik Bay here, just a couple miles south of Gimli, and we're going to take a look at how the bay is freezing up and poke a couple holes and see if we got more than an inch ice.
I think since we started winter fishing, I'm almost always the first one out here in the south. It's on the west side.
This water for the first like 5 feet here.
There's a big area, but everybody wants to go first.
Be good out there.
I kind of have an area that I want to fish, and I want to be there before anybody else does.
Mike checks out some dangerously thin ice. In some areas, it's as thin as a sheet of paper.
Pretty thick out here. You get that sound bite?
The sheet of ice is shifting beneath Mike's feet.
I'd say we got maybe 4 or 5 more days of freezing, and then be good to go. Soon enough.
We're gonna get the big auger going on the bomber today.
But not all fishing operations have their sights set on getting out first.
Check the air.
Change oil, check air, and it'll be pretty much ready for winter.
For Gene and Candace Pischke, it's all about working smart when they do get out there.
I have some health issues, and I have to take it easier and find different ways to do things. You still have to catch the fish, but if you can do it an easier way, why not?
As other teams prepare to stake their claim, they tend to the machine that will help them fish smarter throughout the longest part of the cold winter.
It can be very, very cold. So it's -40. It's cold. It's darn cold.
This is their Bombardier B12, known around these parts simply as the Bomber. It's the workhorse of the commercial ice fishermen.
I'm gonna show you guys an easy way to put the auger rack in.
I'll pass it up to you.
Yeah. These augers will cut through 3 feet of ice in no time at all. There, auger's ready for winter, the bomber's ready for winter.
Meanwhile, the Christiansens arrive at their fishing spot, hoping to set their nets early. Robert leads the way. His wealth of experience can be drawn upon to spot any dangers on the shifting ice. Chris's nephew Joel is there as well to do the heavy lifting if someone goes into the water.
Just put it by the shore, and if I scream for you, you know what to do. Don't hit me in the head with it. Here we go again.
You want to get out there quick, but you want to get out there too quick because the ice might break and you might lose something, you know? Like a bombardier or snowmobiles or a person or...
It's pretty freaky, especially with snow over top of the ice. You can't see anything.
There's no ice there, right? Nope. You can't go outside of that.
If you go through, it's not like we can start chasing after you and go and pull them out because you're just going to fall in yourself.
You're right there, Trevor. Watch out there.
And the risk of hypothermia and all that stuff is very real. From what I just chipped out over there, there's not very much ice. It's too dangerous. We can't set anything yet.
I don't think you should go any further. That's far enough.
Ooh, hear that?
My grandfather used to say, there's one thing you have to remember about commercial fishing, and one thing only, and that is always stay on this side of the water and you'll be fine.
There's 2 inches is not much.
Whoa!
Trouble on the lake near the Christiansens' favorite fishing spot.
Whoa! Like you said, that didn't hold me up.
Chris breaks through the ice before making it to shore.
Where are you going to go after that?
Give me your hand.
Yeah, hold on.
It's a close call.
In 2 days, you could be back here again. It could be all gone. This whole sheet of ice could move over 4 miles.
That's because I went in that time. Remember when I went in? Because the ice
moved over and we all went in for a swim. Yeah. You think that there's ice everywhere, but there's not.
They won't be setting nets today. The ice is coming fast, but it's too thin and unpredictable to be safe.
The only thing is, we just want to be here before anybody else.
A new day and a cold snap descends on the Gimli area.
Today, the plan was to go out and set a couple of nets.
Trevor decides to go onto the ice with his brother Devin and his helper Riley near Husavik Bay. It's a big risk.
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit nervous. There's not that much ice. It's still pretty early on. I'm a little apprehensive to get out there, but the reward is pretty great. If it pays off, then I'm going to be feeling pretty good. And I think that by the time we get off the lake, half the town's probably going to know we were out here. And word gets around real fast.
As they head out, Mike from the Husavik crew arrives at the beach to scout the ice for himself.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, we're gonna try setting, I guess. I don't know. It's probably a little bit early. Like, my dad and grandpa kind of advised me not to go yet, but you know, sometimes you just gotta.
You're not waiting anymore,
no.
Just like us.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess word'll get out now. You know?
I might be going home to get some of my own. So
right on. Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm only gonna put a couple in and see what's, see what's here, so.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, walk safe.
All right, thanks, man. See you guys.
Surprised to come down here and see him on my at-home base here already. This is probably the earliest we've ever seen nets going in, at least here in Husavik. Everybody's gonna want to go now, but it's still pretty early. The weather's crazy, +2, +3 degrees. Unusual for this time of November, but makes a great day for going to put a few nets in and just seeing what's out there. Maybe I'll join them later.
Oh, it's fine.
Trevor makes a big decision. The ice is good to set on.
This is actually probably ideal setting weather right now. There's no wind. You can see through the ice. There's enough ice.
He uses an ice auger to make a hole. Trevor uses an ancient tool called a net stone to measure the depth of the lake.
It's only like 8 feet. We gotta go a little further.
If it's too shallow, he risks the nets getting frozen into the ice.
Yeah, no, we're good. I'm gonna put one in.
A jigger is used to secure the 80-yard nets. Shaped like a surfboard with an ice pick in the middle of it, the jigger glides underneath the ice. Attaching to it is a rope that will run from one hole to the next. The pulling motion of the rope propels the board forward. The spotter looks and listens for its location.
That's good, Devin. Good.
Trevor is betting the weather will only get colder from here on in.
Okay.
If not, he runs the risk of losing his nets and any fish that may be in them.
That's the very first net.
The day is going well, but not far from where they work. Open water crashes over the edge of the ice sheet.
As far as I know, we're the very first people outside of Gimli, which is a little bit freaky because, I'm not the most experienced guy yet, so I might end up making a mistake. I might lose my nets. There might not be any fish here. But if it pays off, then we kind of have bragging rights. We're the first guys out on the lake.
Trevor and his crew are nearly finished for the day when they spot someone on shore.
Hey, is that Dad watching us from shore?
Is Dad there?
This is Grandpa now. It's probably Dad.
Oh yeah, you totally probably called him.
Well, it's somebody, right? We don't know for sure who. As soon as one fisherman hears about us being out here, everybody's gonna know, right?
It's so funny.
Yeah, honestly.
This is November. This is unusually early. We used to say if you could get out here before Christmas and get any amount of nets, this is a month earlier than that. So all bets are off. You could come here in 2 days, this could all be gone. Nobody really knows. That's the thing about being early. It's unpredictable.
That's why we were both watching here, 3 generations. It's a very serious thing.
He's got to go and do it on his own, so he gets an idea.
Okay, all right, we better get everything in then.
Hey, if it had been a strong offshore wind today, how would you get back to shore?
Coming across land, vicious offshore winds can easily move a giant sheet of ice out to the middle of the lake, stranding fishermen miles from shore.
This ice here, you would not believe it. This is a corner and out it goes.
There's strips of wide open water here everywhere. You just don't know. It's what you don't know. It's what you're afraid of, right? It's a day-by-day thing, I'd say.
I've had that happen before where I've asked my dad if I should go set in a certain spot, and he said yes, and then my grandpa said no. And so I was like, well, I'm just gonna go do it anyways. And there was a few times where I was definitely rewarded. But those guys, they've been in my shoes and they've done that sort of thing where they've had father figures telling them what to do and what not to do. They know at the end of the day I'm gonna take their advice, but I'll still probably break new ground and do what I want as well.
Trevor makes it back to shore to face questions from his dad. Mike from the Husavik crew is also there, curious about the ice conditions.
Isn't it further out? Doesn't it look like it's new ice there?
I don't really want to tell you guys because then everybody's going to want to start getting out there. There's no ice out there. There's only like 2 inches. What? Do you think I'm telling the truth?
No, not at all.
Hey.
Ah, looks like our biggest enemy's arrived. You.
Hey, how's it going?
You can see our nets from here. I don't know, with your eyesight, you might not be able to, but... Do you want to know how much ice there actually is out there? If you won't tell anybody? There's 6 inches.
Right there.
So don't tell anybody.
I'm not saying nothing. I wasn't gonna tell him.
So by lunchtime today, everybody will know that we're on the lake.
Honestly, they will.
And every time they talk about it, the ice will get thinner and there'll be 2 more nets in the water.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, we set 100 nets today.
That's what it'll be.
Will Trevor's big risk pay off? He's the first commercial fisherman with nets under the ice. he has single-handedly began the fishing season for the rest of the fishermen. Taking hold of the Viking spirit, Mike and Justin head out onto the new ice. They are betting Trevor was not being truthful about the ice conditions.
I've never seen them out here this early before. Normally they go up north for their secret spot. In the last 5 years, we've been the first one to set a net out here, but it's all good. Maybe he'll catch no fish, and then that'll be a good hint to go farther out. Maybe he'll catch lots of fish, then we'll be jealous. I don't know.
We got a couple nets over there, I see the Christensen, so we'll just check some ice depth here. Take a quick look, see what they were setting into.
4.5 inches. We probably want maybe another couple inches, 8 inches, I'd say.
Almost 10 feet.
10 feet. Let's go a little further.
If a crew sets their nets in shallow water, they risk scraping the ground, pushing the nets up into the ice and freezing them in. A lost net with fish in them can add up to thousands of dollars.
13 feet. Here.
13 feet of water, so definitely deep enough to put in some shallow nets. The word will be spreading that people are out on the lake. Seeing how a few days ago there was water in certain areas, so this will get a lot of people gearing up to go.
Richard Bjarnason's family has been fishing these frozen waters for generations. He began with his father back in 1962.
I quit school, and the old man said, well, you'll just have to come out in the lake with me.
He set out on his own only a few years later, purchasing his first bombardier and equipment. Now working with his son Mike, the two prepare their shed for the oncoming winter season.
In the winter time, you have to watch out for cracks and thin ice.
2 years ago in the winter, across the crack.
He was on the skidoo, and I was behind him on the bombardier, and I could see a change in the ice, but he was too far ahead. Boom, he went right through.
My dad had grabbed me by my arm and dragged me out. It's just an instant shock and panic, bitter cold at minus 50.
It happens. Sometimes you just have to get out on thin ice because that's when you get the most fish.
With other crews already on the ice, Bjarnasons finished preparing for the upcoming season.
No, I already packed up. It's all ready to go.
Pretty heavy. I can see our pegs there. Only 5 more miles to go.
A day later, Trevor and Riley venture out to pull up their first nets.
It's kind of exciting. I don't really know what I'm going to get yet. I'm looking for certain types of fish right now. If I could get goldeye or whitefish or pickerel, that's ideal. That's the most valuable catch to me right now. But what I don't want to catch is tullibee. And November is kind of known to be tullibee time, and I'm kind of worried that that's what we might get.
While tullibee roe is valuable, the fish at this time of year is worthless as the cold water turns the roe to mush. Catching it is a total waste of time and money. It's the moment. Was setting the nets early worth the risk? Trevor pulls in his first nets of the winter with the hopes of catching pickerel, the money fish of the lake.
A lot of tullibee.
But his catch is completely bust. Tullibee is not a valuable fish for this time of year.
It's really not ideal. It's not what I wanted right now.
It's a waste of Trevor's time and money.
Probably should have expected this, but it's disappointing. It's definitely disappointing. Probably in a couple days I'll just pull these ones up. Oh well. It's not the worst. At least I didn't set like 20 nets like I was kind of thinking of doing. My grandpa talked me into only setting a couple, and he was right, so.
Being the first one on the ice doesn't pay off for him this season. Trevor goes home with an unsatisfying catch. A few days pass and the weather dips into the minus 20s. The ice begins to freeze extremely fast.
It's been more than 20 years that I remember it freezing this quick. I don't like it when it freezes quick. It doesn't get a chance to freeze properly. This is a very dangerous time of the year. You don't know how strong the ice is until you break it.
That same day, Justin and Mike from the Husavik crew head out onto the ice, pulling up their test nets.
It's very windy. If you're not prepared or not dressed right, you'll definitely freeze out there.
The wind causes havoc for the guys and their lifting caboose.
On days like today where there's no snow yet on the lake, towing this unit around makes it very difficult for him driving it. It's very lightweight, so it can take off.
So I just got to go pretty slow when I'm lining up. I don't want to hit all of our pegs, and then we got to refreeze everything.
I'd say here we're only fishing a mile and a bit offshore. Typically we'd like to at least be another mile even to start, but this year with the ice conditions, this is where we had to go. With everybody having to go close to shore, there's way more people around us than I would prefer.
Did you see how close these goddamn sitting over here? Look at this. Where'd they come from?
More fishermen in the area means less fish in the Husavik nets. A slow day. The guys are not catching what they hope for. The fish with the highest market value, pickerel. Sauger, northern pike, and tulaby are what they're catching.
It's just no pickerel.
Not catching pickerel means not making money.
The biggest part was to get the equipment out and make sure everything's working, so when we start fishing heavier on the outside, there's no big surprises. Stuff is still gonna break, but at least I know we're gonna start off with hopefully everything working okay here.
A hopeful sign.
Oh, yeah, something's there.
We got a big one.
The guys land a monster fish in their net.
It's like fitting a square through a circle. That's a big carp. Rip the shit out of the net.
Is it gonna fit?
I don't know, it doesn't want to come up. She's gone.
Good.
Good, that's the last thing we need.
Carp is a worthless fish, and its sheer size and strength can easily destroy a good net.
Probably tells me I'm fishing too damn close to shore.
Yeah, it did.
Right here, big hole in the net.
It's a bad day on the ice for the new guys.
Oh, lucky that's all it did.
Leave that in.
Rolling.
Leave that in for a few days, there'd be a 10-foot hole.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Chris brings Trevor, Devin, and Joel to his own test nets north of Gimli. Chris spots a problem.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's a chunk bust here.
A crack is formed on the ice. They have to test to see if they will fall through on their snow machines.
See how much water's here.
It's pretty sketchy. I wouldn't want to go over that.
No,
but you can see it already busted off too, so.
Ice in the lake bays typically forms before the rest of the lake. Where they meet, a pressure ridge forms. These ridges are in constant collision throughout the winter. Warm weather causes the ice to expand, creating ice walls that are difficult to cross. In the cold, it contracts, forming large, open areas of water.
There's water. Whoa. What about on this side? Hold that bar there.
Crossing these cracks and ridges is taking their lives into their own hands.
Well, maybe look and see if there's anywhere further down we can go.
That goes and goes and goes. There's water underneath here. And it goes, the crack goes all the way to shore, so.
The Christensen crew decides to cross the crack in the ice, as there's no way around it.
This winter on the ice is very unpredictable, and you don't know what you're going to be in for. And whoever's going to be on the ice this winter is going to find out just how dangerous and unforgiving Lake Winnipeg can be.
The Christensen crew makes it safely across the large crack on the ice. It's a good omen, and Chris hopes to set more nets on his day.
Let him come with the auger, and at least we'll have a smooth hole for pulling it out. It doesn't matter how much there is, it's just what kind of fish it is. If it's the right fish, then we'll put some nets in. It's a surprise. It's like Christmas for fishermen.
Chris hopes his nets contain whitefish. He doesn't want to make the same mistake Trevor did. Catching a worthless fish like tulaby because he set too early or in the wrong spot will cost Chris even more than Trevor due to higher operating costs.
Okay, here it is now. Stop. This is the very beginning of the season.
Chris is about to officially begin the winter fishing season for his crew, a bit later than other crews.
Oh.
Will his patience pay off?
That looks pretty good.
Just what we were looking for. Whitefish. I think we should try to get some nets in.
Well, this season is pretty exciting for us. We want to add value to one specific kind of fish, whitefish actually. And that to me would be perfect. That would make the season.
You forgot tubs.
Never sharpen your knife before the season, and never count your tubs till they're full.
Whoa!
With Whitefish in his nets, Chris and his crew begin the process of jigging and setting 15 more nets before the sun sets.
Oh, he's dead. I gotta catch up.
A little bit farther, Trevor. That's it.
And that's simple, eh? When things go good, you never know when they're gonna go bad. I guess we're just about done. We'll head in and come and check in a couple of days and make sure this is what we want. So what time is it, Devin?
It's chicken time. What kind of question is that? Of course it's chicken time. You brought your wallet.
Let's go.
Only a week later, the weather turns unseasonably warm. Trevor heads out to check his nets in the warmer weather.
We spent all this time getting them ready and money and everything and time setting them. I'm a little bit worried about them. They're shallow enough and they're close into shore that I feel like that ice is probably gonna stay, but they could go. If it stays warm like this for a while and there's a big wind, yeah, it could definitely go.
From day to day, you can have ice pile 30 feet high or open up 20 feet wide. So it's very unpredictable. You have weather temperature variations of 50 to 60 degrees. It's minus 40 one day and it's 20 above the next day.
This is probably the only place I could actually have nets. Like, if I was even to go another few net lengths out, it looks like it's all open out there. So I'm lucky that the ice is actually held here. It's been plus temperatures for the last week. It's a little scary every time we go on the ice. I kind of thought that maybe I would have lost one or two of my nets, or all of them. Like, I really didn't know, right?
You're pulling out, Trevor?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good out here, to be honest.
Despite his concerns, he's rewarded with a good catch. But was it worth the risk?
That is very good fishing. So these are all pickerel here. So this is pretty much the #1 catch on Lake Winnipeg. So I'm glad I didn't set more nets than this, because I could have gotten myself into a little bit of trouble. We would have been pulling back into open water. And it wasn't like this when we set a few days ago. It's just dumb luck, to be honest. Like, we lucked out by not setting past that. This is very, very good fishing for right now. It's so good that I don't really want anybody else to know right now because, you know, it's a good spot to be.
A few days later, temperatures plunge with an extreme wind chill dropping it down to minus 45. With the ice getting thicker,
rough ice,
Richard and Mike venture out with their caboose and pickup truck to set new nets. But on their way out, the father-son team come across an ominous sign. They spot another fisherman's pickup truck that has broken through the ice. The only safe way to approach it is on foot.
He was just going to his nets of the truck and bang, he went through. There was an open hole. Just lucky it didn't go all the way down.
The ice is less than an inch thick. Someone has already staked off the danger zone.
It could have been maybe only a couple of inches to, start with, and then some snow went on top. That acted as an insulation. The other ice froze, but that kept that open. And that's what you have to watch out for. These bloody little death traps.
They must now navigate carefully on the unpredictable ice as they begin setting their nets. Mike sends the jigger with the running line on its journey under the ice, but a recent snowfall makes it hard to pinpoint where to drill the next hole. For this reason, the jigger has a knocker on it.
Okay, Mike, try her there. Knock it.
Short pulls on the line cause it to slam the ice and make a sound. Richard uses his trained ear to locate the jigger.
Okay, she's here. Sometimes when you get into a little bit of rough ice, the sound echoes all over. Oh yeah, never fails. Okay, you can get her.
But something's wrong.
What the hell's going on?
I don't know.
She's flooded. I'll have to chink it out. Once it gets flooded, it takes a long time for it to get going again. So we just had to use the old needle bar, which we used to use all the time years ago.
Going, the needle bar gets stuck in the ice.
Oh, she's right in the goddamn rough ice. Holy Christ. I can't believe this. Right in the rough ice here, Mike. Jesus Christ. Okay, chip around her. So a lot of fun at times. It's all over.
He then uses a metal hook to catch the running line underneath the ice. He's having trouble.
God damn thing. I can't believe it. Turkey. He's gonna go back and try to send her a little bit farther. Okay, knock her. What the hell?
And then, more trouble.
Oh, Christ, did she ever go up? It's over here. Holy Christ. Here you can see the jigger here. Okay, you can bring the auger here, Mike, and try it.
Richard and Mike Bjarnason are setting nets on the lake.
Didn't even see that hole there.
Mistakes like this can lead to broken bones or hypothermia, which can cost a fisherman his life.
Just stepped in it.
Mike heads to the truck to assess how much water he got in his boot. The water on his foot freezes instantly.
It's starting to tingle a little bit. Right here, you can see the pant legs frozen.
How's your feet?
It's a little tingly. That's a little cold, but just keep going.
Despite his frozen foot, Mike insists they keep going. The guys try the auger again. It's still flooded.
Jesus.
They'll have to use the needle bar to dig all the holes, wasting precious time as the light begins to fade. To make things worse, they've lost the running line.
I can't believe this. God. Come on. Jesus Christ. What a son of a bitch. Right. No. Not coming? No. She's caught on the goddamn under in the rough ice. Oh, Christ. Okay, I'll chip her over here.
With the auger not working, they have to chip out a larger hole in order to remove the jigger.
Jesus. What the hell, it's turned or something, goddamn. Jesus. Oh, we have to get that hole bigger. Jesus. Okay. Oh. There she's coming. Oh, Christ.
With the jigger finally free, they decide to call it a day, putting them further behind on their fishing quota.
What's that?
My foot's freezing.
Today, it was a pretty poor day. We only got in 2 nets. Reason being, too, Mike took a booter, and then we ran into rough ice.
Everything's frozen. I can't even open the engine door.
The cold weather continues and Trevor and Riley head out to pull nets. They take his grandfather's bombardier for the first time this season.
It's finally been cold for a while, and I feel safe to take out my grandpa's bombardier. It's been pretty mild before this. Like, you can't take a bombardier on 4 inches of ice. So I'm gonna go and take it out now, and we're gonna chance it and see how it goes. It does feel good to be back in a bombardier. It's been a while.
Trevor also decides to take out his caboose. They attach it to the back of the bombardier.
Oh, no power steering on these.
As Trevor hooks up the caboose, he realizes he left his needle bar on.
Oh, I'm gonna take this back, stay with the bombardier, and keep it idling high enough, okay? Well, it happens a lot. Sometimes we come out here and we realize we forgot something. And in this case, it was a needle bar, so I'm just gonna zip around and go grab it quick. Oh, right there. Oh, get in the bombardier, I gotta catch it.
500 pounds of runaway machinery will destroy or kill anything it hits.
We gotta unhook the caboose first.
Trevor knows this could be life or death.
Right there. Oh.
To catch the runaway snow machine before it crashes into something or someone.
Now how the hell are we gonna get it out?
Luckily, the machine slams into a snowbank and some bulrushes.
Oh, we forgot that stupid rope. We could have pulled it right out. You can't go here, you'll rip it off. I should be able to get out straight this way. I don't know what happened. I think either my mitt got stuck or I got like a piece of ice or something in here.
It seems like anything you buy is not built for -40. Like it gets to the point where it's so cold that breaks.
At least I didn't hit anything with it.
It can be a real pain in the ass.
Holy shit. It's always some stupid thing, you know? When things get cold, things break, and you know, things don't work properly, so it's just one of the big pains of this job, being so freaking cold. We're actually gonna get back out and lift a couple nets, so the day's not done, the day's kind of just starting. I think probably me and Riley will keep it quiet for now.
The next day, Trevor helps his dad, Chris, lift his nets.
Damn, that's good.
Holy moly, what am I gonna say? Doesn't get any fresher.
Chris is happy with the whitefish he's catching.
Too many here to count.
You can't count that high, eh?
you were taught?
Now I can sleep tonight.
You're always anxious to see what's going to be in the net, whether it's going to be the kind of fish you want or not. As you can see, it's exactly what we're after, the whitefish. They're the size of fish that the market wants, so I mean, it couldn't be better. I grew up very young, knowing commercial fishing and knowing the ins and outs and having the experience of my family, being my father and my grandfather and my uncles.
That's a beauty. It's a beautiful fish.
A lot of those people are now gone, but I tried to hold on to some of the values and ideas that they've passed on. And I think at the end of the day, they didn't really pass on a living, but they passed on a way of life. You know, I don't know if I would be able to do it without family. I mean, that's what keeps you really kind of going a little bit. Don't you think?
Next time on Ice Viking.
What the hell? You all right?
Oh, no, not the cage. Oh, couldn't get goddamn worse.
So far, the fish is terrible. We're not even hitting our half a pound minimum that we need.
Fishing blows.
God damn, how do we forget the auger? What are we gonna do, chop all the holes? This is gonna be a hard day.
On a sheet of clear ice here, and it's just a nightmare. Just spinning the whole time.
Jeez.